Welcome to Stormin Chocolate. I'm Stormin Norman. Today's song is number 66, a combination of the first two songs off the Alan Parsons Project album, Eye in the Sky. I've kind of buried the lead here by not naming the songs. The first song on the album is the instrumental Sirius, which was famously used by the Chicago Bulls basketball team in its heyday of the Michael Jordan years. The song seamlessly transitions into the title track of the album, Eye in the Sky. When I first started ripping my CDs into iTunes, I discovered the downside of iTunes ripping options. It would only do the songs it discovered one at a time when doing an album, which meant that such continuous songs like Pink Floyd's Us and Them, followed by Eclipse, or worse, what we call the Cars' Moving in Stereo suite of 4 songs, were separated, and shuffling playlists led to abrupt endings and beginnings. I found a piece of ripping software that would allow me to group songs gaplessly to restore the normalcy one gets when listening to the album. The resultant MP3s were then imported into iTunes, and then I just had to live with the odd numbering of tracks, which I must say has no sonic implications. Thus, in my current Apple Music app, the track list of Eye in the Sky has no track 2 because 1 and 2 are combined. The app that did the combining, and even iTunes when it added this feature, named the songs using the database it found and simply hyphenated all of the combined songs together. For example, the Car Suite mentioned above would appear as You've All I've Got Tonight - Bye Bye Love - Moving in Stereo - All Mixed Up, which is annoying and obnoxious. Luckily, iTunes allows one to rename songs in its local database, so this song became Moving in Stereo Suite. But a similar naming would not be appropriate in my mind to 2-song dyads. Instead, today's song is lovingly referred to as Sirius Eye. Short and sweet, informative without being pedantic. Alan Parsons is first and foremost an engineer. Well, I guess first he was a librarian working in the tape duplication department of EMI, and then talked his way into being a sound engineer by starting as the assistant who operated the tape machines. As Chocolate is wont to say,
"You are the remote control." What?
What the?
There's no laughing. There's no laughing in baseball.
This is now the Big Bang Theory.
Where is the remote control? You are the remote control. You see how that works?
No.
He worked on several famous albums, including the Beatles' Abbey Road, Wings' Red Rose Speedway, the Hollies' 1974 album Hollies, which features the hit The Air That I Breathe, and Dark Side of the Moon. He worked on both of Al Stewart's seminal albums, Year of the Cat and Time Passages in 76 and 78, respectively. But right about this time, he had his side hustle going on. In 1974, Alan met Eric Norman Wolfson, no relation, at Abbey Studios, where they were working on different projects, and Alan asked Wolfson to be his manager, as Eric had recently moved into artist management after previously being a producer and songwriter, but was not making much scratch. This move was immediately successful, as one of his first clients was Carl Douglas of Kung Fu Fighting fame. Eric Wolfson was born in Glasgow, Scotland, and attended school through high school there. He taught himself piano thanks to an uncle who inspired him. At 18, after school, he moved to London to pursue music professionally, starting out as a piano sessionist. Rolling Stones record producer Andrew Loog Oldham signed him up as a songwriter, and he wrote songs for other artists such as Marianne Faithfull and Peter Noone after he left Herman's Hermits. He also signed a deal with America's Southern Music Publishing, which was rebranded as Peer Music in 1994, and brought him in close contact with composers and lyricists Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice. This was certainly foreshadowing where Eric would eventually go. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Eric was Alan's manager through the latter's work with Pilot, Al Stewart, Ambrosia, The Hollies, amongst others. Subsequently, they decided to collaborate on a series of albums which they described as Alan's Little Project. Seriously, they called it the Alan Parsons Project as a placeholder, and by this time, I think they've given up giving it a real name. In 1975, Alan declined to work on Pink Floyd's follow-up to Dark Side, Wish You Were Here, to work on the project. The duo had structured their project with both composing music and lyrics, and eventually Parsons engineering and producing, and Wolfson executive producing. They would recruit and rotate in other musicians as needed, while both also provided mainly background vocals and keyboard duties. Their first release was 1976's Tales of Mystery and Imagination, which had themes garnered from the horror stories of Edgar Allan Poe, something Wolfson had been kicking around before the meetup. All members of the bands Pilot and Ambrosia, whom I noted Alan was currently working with, played on the album, with Alan Parsons and Leonard Whiting singing lead on The Raven, Arthur Brown of The Crazy World singing lead on The Telltale Heart, and John Miles and Terry Sylvester sharing vocals on the other 3 songs. Note that Leonard Whiting played Romeo to Olivia Hussey's Juliet in the 1968 Franco Zeffirelli film, quite possibly the best interpretation of Shakespeare's tragedy committed to cellulose. The same praise I give to Kevin Branagh's Henry V. The album was moderately successful, definitely progressive rock, leaning towards the pop side, but with a 15-minute instrumental to start side 2. It peaked at 38 in the US and 56 in the UK. I was totally oblivious to this album during the summer of 1976, as I was busy packing for the move to Germany. With the success of Tales and based on the obvious talents of Parsons and Wolfson, Arista signed the project for additional albums. The project produced a total of 10 albums through 1987's Gaudi until Wolfson decided to go off and create musicals. See what I meant about foreshadowing? Alan continued on releasing albums under his own name, 6 through 2022. We will have songs from 8 of the 10 albums in this playlist. As you might expect with their prog leanings and instrumentals, the Alan Parsons Project is big in this house. Thus, Sirius I is one of the 6 songs that Chocolate picked for this group of 19, and is one of the songs he is constantly singing against, or with. The album Eye in the Sky is the project's 6th release, released in 1982 following the big success of 1980's Turn of a Friendly Card. The album peaked in the top 5 in 9 countries and in the top 10 in an additional 2. It is certified platinum in 6 countries and gold in 3 others. I can't recall if the song Eye in the Sky is ever played on the radio without the instrumental lead-in Sirius, but the pair makes it a 6.5-minute song, still shorter than Stairway to Heaven. In addition to Sirius I, additional album tracks that will show up in this playlist will be Silence and I, Psychobabble, and the instrumental Mama Gumma. Chocolate may choose to cover Old and Wise on his own, as he is totally enamored with it. For the duration of the project, the band didn't tour. It would have been hard with only 2 regulars and a troupe of irregulars, but post-project, Alan has gone around the world several times with bands of 10 to 12 musicians that can perform his works. We saw him in July of 2025, basically 6 months ago from the recording of this video, and he was the opening act for Brit Floyd, the Pink Floyd tribute band. When I heard he was touring, I conspired to get tickets for the show for the four of us, Stormin, Big Red, Chocolate, and a guest, as a birthday present. Ironically, when I put the receipt for the show into an envelope as the present, he texted me asking, "Why should I care?" Certainly disappointed on not getting a real gift. This was because Alan was only the opening act, and the receipt only has the poster for Brit Floyd. You couldn't even see who was opening unless you went to the website. When he got educated, he became much more enthusiastic. The only downside is the venue was 290 kilometers away at a vineyard amphitheater in Gold Country. But with Alan touring the world, there were going to be videos on YouTube, and one of the staples is Sirius I. And lo and behold, Alan was playing the opening notes on the keyboard. I would have sworn that there was a guitar in the recording, but I was mistaken. Sirius is just under 2 minutes long. There is no gap between the songs. Sirius starts with a very low tone that slowly rises from the dark background and levels in volume after about 7 seconds. And then that plucking keyboard that sounds like a guitar comes in 4 seconds later and plays the Sirius sequence. After about 10 seconds, the bass drum starts rising in volume, and then that low tone fades away kind of quickly. And then just before the half-minute mark, we get a cymbal crash and the low tone comes back with a vengeance. This double crash continues for 4 bars with a typical note phrasing, like 1, 3, 5, 1, but not really. Another synth comes in playing a counterpoint to the sequencer, going down where the first one typically goes up. Plus, we get a hi-hat. Just past the 1 minute mark, the drums get more serious, lol, when the snare drum comes into play. And then the next 4 bars, we get a lead guitar accompanied by some string synths. At just over 1.5 minutes, Sirius has blown its wad on a crescendo. The plucky synth is gone, the drums and guitar fade, as does the string synth. Eventually, the bass and guitar tone hits fade away, and we're left with just a bass guitar. A solo, if you want to call it that, playing 2 bars of 1 note as 8th notes and 2 bars of a lower note. Then a hi-hat hit that signals the start of Eye in the Sky, and it starts like a normal APP pop rock song with drums, that bass still thrumming, and Ian Berenson on pedal steel guitar to give it some atmosphere. And then Eric Wolfson sings the first verse. This song, as its title implies, is cautionary in its intent, warning the listener that the protagonist is onto them and their wiles, and is this close to letting them go, or chasing them away. The second verse continues with the warnings, leading into the chorus in this AAB-ABB structure.
Don't say words you're gonna regret. Don't let the fire rush to your head. I've heard the accusation before, and I ain't gonna take any more. Believe me, the sun in your eyes made some of the lies worth believing.
And then we jump right into the third verse.
Don't leave false illusion behind. Don't cry, I ain't changing my mind. So find another fool like before. 'Cause I ain't gonna live anymore believing some of the lies while all of the signs are deceiving. I am the eye in the sky looking at you. I can read your mind.
As I mentioned above, the third verse is followed by 2 iterations of the chorus, and all 3 instances of the chorus are the same. The third and final chorus follows quickly on the heels of the preceding instance, and actually, as you've heard, there's very little space between any of the lyrics. But the last 40 seconds is where we finally get a guitar solo before the song fades out. Taking a 10,000-foot view, one might consider Sirius to be a holy fanfare, announcing the coming and presence of the Lord. And then, with the thunder and majesty fading away, said Lord has a one-on-one with a subject and takes them to task. I like this image. I have a lot of respect for the project's lyrics. Eye in the Sky is an example of repetition by taking one step left and then one step forward to making one's point. Overall, the lyrics feel crafted by a master craftsman, and I see this in most of their songs. Nothing is inane or absurd, nothing is unnecessary, and the music, which feeds by prog rock antennae, meshes really well. There are 6 lead singers across the 8 vocal songs on the album, and this is common across most of the 10 albums. I believe that vocal variability can be desirable, like with Henley, Schmidt, Walsh, Fry, Meisner, Lennon, and Felder, all singing lead at some point, made the Eagles more cosmopolitan. The differences between Roger Hodgson and Rick Davies in Supertramp, Dave Gilmour versus Roger Waters, or sometimes like Dave and Rick Wright on Echoes. Spice of life. In the description are links for the album cut, but the only one I could find that is Sirius Eye has the lyrics, "Oh no!" And there's a second link for the Alan Parsons Band live in the Netherlands from 2019, and you get to see Alan play the Sirius plucking sequence on his keyboard. Well, that's it for the inseparable duo of Sirius and Eye in the Sky from the Alan Parsons Project's 1982 album, Eye in the Sky. Next time, Elton John will beg, "Don't let the sun go down on me," as it will make it harder to avoid the caribou while driving. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He will beg or bang?
Both. He will bang that caribou. Whatever the hell it is.
Gotta stop the video. To restore the normalcy once... Well, it was a mental breakdown. I found a piece of ripping software that would allow me to group the song.
You want me to pull up a chair for you?
Still
Yeah.
not.
Okay. I just want to hear him laugh.
Oh.
That's just what I
You can't hear him from in
I'm
there?
gonna sit here and watch him
You
laugh.
can sit there.
Oh my
It's
god.
hilarious watching you
You
laugh.
can sit over.
And you also can't move because the chairs will make noise.
Oh yeah.
So settle in.
Okay.
Hang on a section. You don't have to get up.
Okay, I won't.
Also, I'm not naming this video Sirius Eye. I'm naming it Sirius.
You don't name it.
/ Eye in the Sky.
You don't name it.
I will change it.
I name it.
I will change it if you name it that. So, I never.
The app that did the combining, you open your mouth. Luckily, iTunes. Stop laughing. If you could just stop making noise. Instead, today's song is. This is going too fast.
You didn't even stop.
Today's song is lovingly referred to
No, not getting away with that one.
but is similar in toy boat. So this song, what are you waiting for? I said database.
I was checking if my hand was in the frame.
Today's song is lovingly and then talked his way into being a sound engineer.
You are the remote control. What?
There's no laughing. There's no laughing in baseball.
You're looking at you.
And I'm laughing. Dude, I don't understand it, but that was just funny.
You're funny.
You don't hear him say that like all the time?
No.
The you are thing?
Oh, yeah.
And by this time, I think they've really given up getting it a real name.
What? No.
God, can you stop? I changed the words, but it sounded plausible.
No, it didn't.
But let's not get our hair. I can't wait till you're behind a wall. I don't have to put up with this shit.
Dude, you're so loud.
With Alan Parsons and Leonard Whiting signed singing.
Damn, you gotta slept that better.
We do countdown.
Shh. Fuck. Jesus. Shh. Quiet. Oh, too late. Pilot and Ambrosia, whom I noted was... Oh, fuck. Progressive rock leaning towards pop. What... Definitely progressive rock.
That should be a new music style, Rob.
And it's one of the songs he is constantly...
Are you chocolate?
Yes. It's his nickname. Chocolate Munch Cake.
I'm leaving a lot of this in, by the way.
No.
I see how your hair turns out first.
Can I paint you rainbow?
The Alan Parsons project is big in this house.
No, you can't do that. He said
Is it as big as this house?
As you might expect with their prog leanings... Oh, fuck.
Sorry, I fucked up. I was distracted.
We will have songs from 8 of the 10 albums in this playlist. As you might expect with the... Go back 6 months ago from recording this video. And he was... It didn't make sense. At just over a minute and a half... Fuck.
What?
What do you mean I don't know what she's doing?
I had a random thought.
It's like she was laughing.
My brother does not believe that I gave birth to my dogs.
Are we ready now? The drums and guitar fade, as does...
What?
Eventually, the bass guitar...
And I wonder how much
Yes.
hair of yours would fit in the cup.
The drums and guitar fade, as does... Your beat is off. You're going too fast, and she's
What she said.
she's not on the link.
That didn't sound
Not on the right rate.
That didn't sound
Go
right.
back.
What? Checking the time?
Yes.
Through the wall?
Yeah, I can see around the corner. Sirius has blown its wad on a... Fuck.
What?
All right, you're going to have to remove the distraction.
No.
Then we're done for tonight. No, because you guys can't be serious. Lol.
What are you doing?
She's still...
Causing
am?
this destruction.
Go back.
I'll fast forward.
Dude, it was right there. It was fine. The third verse is followed by 2 iterations of the chorus.
No.
And all 3 the difference was... But the only one I could find is Sirius from the Alan Parsons Project, 1982. Go back. Next time, Elton John will beg, "Don't let the sun go down on me, as it will make it harder to avoid the curb." It was so close, so close. Well, that's it for the... Shh. Well, that's it for... You're shaking the table. You might be out of time.
You're out of time.
How much